Today, I want to talk about how to move on from your ex. So, if you went through a big divorce like I did in your 30s, or just a really big breakup, and you feel that you're still hanging on to the fantasy of what could have been, I'm here to give you a few lessons and a few tips that I learned so that you can skip the hardship that I went through. So, first of all, I was suffering in silence for so long. I was reliving and replaying my breakup over and over again, and really feeling like maybe that guy was the one who got away. And it was ironic, right? Because when you go through a big breakup, obviously it's like ended, it's over. So there was a part of me that didn't want to let it go. And I would cry every day and I was upset all the time and I would just relive the good moments. And that's my first tip for you. Stop reliving the good moments because the reason you broke up is that the bad was outweighing the good. So instead, what really helps you to move on and develop that like repulsion and anger and hatred to kind of get you out of it is remembering the bad moments. So rather than focusing on all these, idealizations of what was, I did something different. I remember those times that I felt trapped, the times where he was so mean to me, the times where we couldn't reach a resolution and where I knew this wasn't the person for me. Those feelings of like that obstacle, the challenge, like that feeling of raw pain, that was what I wanted to actually focus on in order to move on. I needed to focus on the bad moments in order to get me to move on from my ex. So that's number one. Very important. Okay. No more reliving those rose colored glasses, all the great things that you guys did together. Stop that. Stop that right now. Okay. Then the next thing I would say is you got to focus on you and focus on creating, focus on making things, focus on distracting yourself. Because if you sit in that energy of sadness for too long, it'll break you. So I did that. I cried for way too long. I sat around feeling bad for myself. And what I realized is the antidote to that was actually creation, was actually rebuilding myself through creating things, whether it was writing or knitting or even playing sports. That was another thing. Like, you need to get active, get out there, and start to focus on making something new, make a new hobby, because you're still going to be suffering in silence. You're still going to have that suffering. You're not going to move on one day, the next, overnight, everything's magical and you're feeling perfect. You're not going to have a sudden amnesia, right? But you're going to distract yourself to the point where your mind literally no longer is focused on that person. Okay. And then lastly, I know it sounds a little weird, but got to be alone sometimes. So it can be tempting to surround yourself with people and go out. I want you to do that too. Of course, I want you to be social and make friends. And you went through a big challenge and a big obstacle. So moving on is going to be hard. But that doesn't mean that you're going to just drown yourself in social activities. You got to spend some time alone. And we can set timers. If you want to do 20 minutes alone, that's fine. 20 minutes a day. 45 was my like magical number. I would do 45-minute timer on my phone, no distractions, no cell phone, no TV, nothing. Just me alone. You don't need to like meditate or do something special. All you need to do is be alone. And what I found is during those alone moments, all these like downloads came to me. I had these insights, I had these like revelations. And those moments of being alone allowed me to rest and rejuvenate and step into my own power. Step into who am I? Who's Vana? Oh my God, I'm amazing. Those moments alone help me move on because I got to know myself better. And my personal experience for me was that I didn't want to move on because I was trapped in fear. I was afraid to move on. I was afraid because I had this emotional loss. And like the moment that I was going to let go of the memories was the moment that it was no longer going to be a part of my life. And I was going to miss it. going to miss it. So this is important. No more rose colored glasses. We're going to think about all the hard times. That's going to help you move on. You're going to realize I really didn't want to be with someone like that. No, that will help you move on. Okay. So that's the first thing you're going to do. And the second thing is you're going to make sure, make sure that you get into creation mode, get into hobbies that help you distract yourself. But it's not just empty distraction like watching Netflix. No, it's like creating something new, writing, reading, actually making something, making a new hobby. Okay. And then lastly, spend some time alone. Look within and really understand yourself and find that inner power within yourself because it exists. You're powerful. You are powerful. You are stronger than you think you are, and you can move on. You can and you will move on. And the faster you move on, the better it's going to be for you. So, chop, chop. I hope this gave you some tools to move you forward in your journey. And I'm here if you ever want to chat.